Welcome to DDS, real fans, real sports talk, no BS. We're your hosts, Blake Melton, Bradley Newberry, and Matthew Parker. Parker, tell me something good.
After a week of no Vols, I'm ready to get back to it.
Yeah, man, ready to go.
We got a Vols game to break down, and we'll do it first. The 4-4 UT Vols travel to the 6-2, number 18 team in the country, Kentucky Wildcats. Blake, you know it. The Kentucky Wildcats are 5-0 at Kroger Field. Last year they won 34-7 in Knoxville, but I'm not trusting this Kentucky defense right now.
Yeah, it's kind of been a weird year for Kentucky in a good way for them. I mean, they've won some games, maybe that they arguably shouldn't have won. I have nothing real positive to say about Kentucky. They still look like Kentucky to me. I don't see them putting up really great offensive numbers. I know they like to run the ball. Got a good running back. I don't think their defense is going to be able to do too much with Tennessee. They got to run the ball. Got to be efficient. Can't go 3 and out a bunch. Defense has to hold the line as long as they can. Maybe try to get a few 3 and outs and get off the field. And we'll see.
Kentucky, fraudulent. They're not number 18 in the country.
See how I teased that a little bit, and he just knocked it out.
Going for it. 61 Kroger Field, right? 61,000 people can fit
5-0.
They've had one sellout, and that was Florida, and that's because Florida showed up.
That's true. That's true. I mean, it's the facts.
I mean, it's like saying Vandy sold out the Vols game.
Yeah.
It's because the Vols were there.
Yep. And this game opened at -3. But as soon as that came out, professional bettors, people that know what they're doing, hammered Tennessee. You can go look at all the metrics, and that's why this line has moved so much.
Yeah. Now it's a pick 'em at this point, right?
Yeah, and I think it's going to go off with Tennessee being favored by probably a point and a half.
And we've touched on Hendon Hooker and how efficient he's been this year.
Mm-hmm.
He gets to go against a defense, Blake, that just allowed Will Rogers an SEC record 36 of 39, which is good for 92.3% completion percentage. Hooker's lining up for a good day here.
Yeah, he really is. Hendon Hooker has done nothing but impress everybody this year. I mean, he has won over the Tennessee faithful. He's starting to finally get a little bit of traction as far as the national media. He's not out to try to win any awards, but you can definitely tell how mature he is, how well he reads things, and just his athletic ability allows him to be able to hurt defenses whenever they maybe do spring through the offensive line.
He's thrown 17 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. I'm sitting here looking. We talked about it a little bit on our review show the other day, but he's the 4th most efficient quarterback in all of college football. And you mentioned Kentucky's defense. When you think Kentucky, you traditionally think defense. But they've given up 30 points in back-to-back games, and they hadn't done that in any of the previous games before that. I just think that you've really got a favorable matchup with Tennessee's wide receivers, how this team how the team runs their plays, their schemes, the fastness of this against this secondary. I think this is a really bad matchup. I'm not teasing who I'm picking here very well, but I think this is an absolutely terrible matchup for Kentucky. And I think offensively, Kentucky might struggle as well.
We've lost all faith in the Kentucky quarterback.
Yeah.
I mean, we've talked about Rodriguez multiple times with their running game, but he hasn't really showed up in the last few weeks either, to be honest with you. But I don't see anything here. I literally came into this with no pick at all, but as I continue to hear more information, reviewing the information that I have with Kentucky's lack of defense, I might be leaning away, Blake.
Well, I mean, this is the thing. I mean, look, Tennessee's defense, they're not world beaters by any stretch of the imagination, but are they leading? Are they still leading the SEC or the nation or something in tackles for loss?
I'll look that up.
They're gamers. Look, they're very shorthanded. The defensive line is pretty good, but they're really short on linebackers at this stage. But man, they're playing hard. They really are. This coaching staff, we've said it time and time again. they're coaching their ass off. They really are. They're putting these players in the best position they can possibly put them in. And it seems like they are really
It's
stepping it up.
It's just a numbers game. I mean, unfortunately, UT can't roll, 2 different sets of defensive players out there. They just don't have the number of players to do it. So they're relying on their starters to play a lot more snaps. And, eventually they'll get tired. But for the most part, I think they've done an admirable job playing some D, especially along the line.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking that stat up. They're still tied. They're up there in the top of the nation still for tackles for loss.
Coming off a bye week.
Yeah,
So.
they're averaging 6.9 a game. They're right there. MTSU's on that's insane. But you mentioned Rodriguez. Yeah, he's been awesome. On the year, he has more than 800 rushing yards. But in the last 2 games, 41 combined.
That's so bad. That's a huge drop off.
Massive. And Tennessee's actually been pretty good about this. So I just don't like this matchup. And I'll just jump right in, fellas. I'm going to just quote what my boy Vols cornerback Alante Taylor said, quote, "You don't lose to Kentucky."
Boom, Alante. Come on, Alante.
Well, Florida did.
We need Alante to step it up this week, too. Shut him down on the outside.
31, 21.
Okay. I like the pick. I'm definitely going Tennessee. I like Tennessee in this matchup. Like you said, I think it's a bad matchup for Kentucky. I think Hendon Hooker being on the run that he's on, being so efficient, not taking care of the ball. Tennessee's offensive scheme just gives everybody fits. And with a Kentucky defense that just hasn't been playing well as of late, and their running game all of a sudden just is non-existent over the last couple of weeks, I think this is setting up for a Tennessee victory here, and this will be a huge win for the Vols in a year where there was just not very much expectation. I'm going to go Vols 35-17.
Oh, that's a big win.
Yes, it is.
I'm with you. I think it could happen. I wanted to do it.
I know. I went there.
I wanted to.
I went there.
I see you, Kentucky, at 5-0 at Kroger Field. I felt you, Kentucky, by beating the Florida Gators. I'm a defensive guy, and I don't see your defense playing right now. I am shockingly going
To the dark side.
Vols.
Yeah.
See the light.
34
Get this man some orange.
to 23 and an 11-point victory for the Vols.
Get this man a power T-shirt.
I thought I was being ballsy with 10-point victory. Nice.
Jeez.
I don't trust you, quarterback, whatever your name is, Levis.
Will Levis.
No.
I like your running back, but he's been walking behind the line apparently the last 2 weeks. So I'll go with Hendon Hooker, a nice little 30 of 31 day or something silly.
Well, and he hasn't been good because they've been down. So they haven't. They're not like the Titans where they run the ball when they're down to come back.
Right.
You come out, Hendon Hooker comes out. That's Vols offense is fast. You up 14-0. This game's over.
Right.
I think you're exactly right. I think if the Vols get started fast, this game could be over in the first half.
So here's another piece of history why I lean Vols as well. Kentucky has not beat UT in back-to-back games or years since 1976-77. So why now? I think you lose. Vols win.
Particularly when I think that Tennessee is actually going in the right direction with their coaching hire here. So
I think both coaches are fine.
Look, I'm a Stoops fan too. I think he does a
both
great
coaches.
job, but I think Tennessee has finally turned the corner. Maybe, hopefully, the hype is real.
Stoops could be at LSU next year.
Ooh,
I don't know. I'm just saying.
that Stoops or the other Stoops?
That Stoops.
Mm.
I don't know. He's done an excellent job.
Yeah, he has.
Coach of the year type guy.
Yes.
Well, we can talk about another coach if you want.
Let's talk about
We're
him.
moving to Gators at South Carolina. Both teams enter this game at 4-4, which makes me puke, throw up in my mouth to say that.
Sorry.
But are these teams actually equals, or is it even close, Parker?
No, my analysis on this one is Gators aren't that bad and South Carolina sucks. It's literally what I have written down. They aren't. South Carolina's best win so far is against Troy or a last-second win against Vandy. That's it. Maybe East Carolina, and they shouldn't have won that game either. Honestly, Vandy and East Carolina, they should have lost. This is just a step up in class. And Florida should be able to get back to their old ways on this one. South Carolina has allowed 230 rushing yards in 3 of their last 5.
Yeah, I agree, but are they going to run the ball? So this is the problem with Florida. I mean, don't get me wrong. This should be a get-right game. It should be. If Florida loses this game, I cannot express to you how hot the chair that Dan Mullen is sitting on will get. And this should not be a close game. As you mentioned, about South Carolina's defense. I mean, this is setting up for you to get back to your identity, but you got to do it. You can't go out there and lay a big egg out there. If you let a team like South Carolina hang around, I do not want to see what happens to Dan Mullen after the game if they end up losing to this team, but they should not. This should not even be a close game. It should not be something we're even entertaining.
I mean, Gators lead the overall series 29-9-3. I guess I'm assuming that we're going to see Richardson again, or we're going to keep this.
That's a huge mistake on Florida's part if they do that.
It looked a lot better with Jones, right?
It did.
It's always looked better with Jones.
But maybe they were, I don't know, maybe at that point they were playing a little the point was, I'm fine with them starting Richardson, but he should have started this game, or he should have started whatever game. It's just he should have started his first game against Georgia. Mm-hmm. My thing is that his confidence shot. Is he just like, oh my God, I'm seeing ghosts, so I'm scared and I don't know what to do.
It's
all right. I'm calling this right now, and if it doesn't happen, then shame. Florida 40, South Carolina 13.
And you're saying about Dan Mullen's seat being hot. It will be on fire if he loses this game. If Florida's going to lose this game, it's for one reason, and that's for turnovers. There's been one at least every game they've played, and they've had 9 turnovers in their last 3. But even if they have 3 turnovers here, this South Carolina team is awful. Gators win 37-10. This is a name your score kind of game.
Yeah, I agree. Florida should just boat race these guys. I think it's going to be something on the order. I don't think, honestly, the way things have been going, I don't think Florida's going to score as many points as we think they're going to score. I think it's going to be like a 30-14 kind of one of those wins where you're like, I feel like we should have beat them worse.
Yeah, I can see it. Number 13, Auburn. At number 14, Texas A&M. Both teams early this season were facing disappointing seasons. I mean, they were doing nothing but losing games.
Yeah.
Both of them, I would argue, have kind of turned it around a little bit. They're both ranked in the top 15 now. We've got Zach Calzada versus Bo Nose Football Nicks.
I got to tell you, I mean, you're saying that they turned it around. I mean, Auburn maybe. I don't know. I don't really follow. I don't know how Auburn has flown under the radar so much, but I'm still kind of waiting to see on Texas A&M. I mean, yeah, they beat Alabama.
They did.
I mean, is that what we're basing all this on?
Maybe.
I mean, is it all we need to base it on? I don't know. I'm not entirely convinced just yet that A&M is not the fraudulent team that I think they are.
I think they were the fraudulent team that we thought they were at the beginning. But I do think they've kind of turned it around. I mean, they've come off a bye. Zach Calzada, God, he was bad early on. Mm-hmm. But in his last 4 games, his worst passer rating is 120. And his best is 170, and that was against Alabama. I don't know how. I don't know what Jimbo's done to him, but he looks like a different person. But on the other hand, Auburn's come off back-to-back SEC opponents. And Bo Nix has been good lately. I mean, we just went through his stats on the other show, and it's
annoying.
I could tell. I mean, we're very hesitant to give the kudos to Bo Nix because just as soon as we say it, here it comes. And you'll find yourself losing to Georgia Southern or State or whatever until your backup comes in and saves the day. But this is the proverbial field goal game in my book, Blake, and it could go either way.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's kind of what I'm thinking it's going to be. I'll go ahead and go into this. I mean, I think that this is going to be one of those games that Bo Nix plays well in. I think Calzada's – I think we're going to find out how good Calzada really is in this game. I think it's probably kind of one of those mid-level games as far as score. I'm thinking this is going to be one of those 24-21 games, and I'm thinking Auburn's going to pull this one out.
I think Auburn's win last week against Ole Miss was more about, we talked about it in the review show, it was more about Ole Miss being just, their schedule was just being brutal. And I think Bo Nix is going to go back to his true self. The real Bo Nix is going to stand up.
That wouldn't surprise me either.
I'll give you a good reason why. Bo Nix, when he steps up in class and defense, which A&M is a very good top 10 defense, he's not very good. So the 2 games you can measure him against, because they've played a bunch of trash other than Penn State and Georgia, but in those 2 games, he had a 10% interceptable pass rate and completed 54% of his passes. He's not good against good teams. Texas A&M's defense is good. I know they played against South Carolina last week, which is just dreadful, but South Carolina didn't convert any of their first 10 third down conversion attempts. If Tank can come out and run the ball for Auburn, then I think there's a chance. But if they come out and get stuffed, which they could by A&M, Bo's not going to be able to get this back, and I think that's what's going to happen. I think the Aggies roll 28-17, and I don't know if it's that close.
Wow. I'm going field goal game. I'm going Texas A&M 27-24, and I have a feeling that both quarterbacks kind of look shaky here. They have some confidence coming in, both of them, and I think that they have a chance to both get a reality check in the exact same game. So field goal game, I'm going A&M 27-24.
This will be a fun one.
Yeah. Underdog time, where we have to identify teams that are not supposed to win that will win straight up. Parker, we'll start with you.
All right, I'm going to go way off the radar. I'm going to go with the Cowboys, and not any Cowboys that anyone's going to probably think. So we're going to head to Wyoming. Don't ask, but they're going to straight up beat Colorado State. I was just randomly looking at stats and just some stuff on it. And Wyoming has advantage like everywhere. I didn't understand it. And I just assumed they were.
Is this who Vandy played?
Vandy.
Colorado State?
Yes, Vandy. Yes. Colorado State lost to Vanderbilt.
That's right. I remember that name.
Yes. Yeah. And Wyoming started off 4-0. I think they were actually ranked. And then they've lost 4 in a row to actually pretty good teams, like ranked or, good teams. And I just think that you're buying them at a low here. That's my thing. Buying them at a low here, look for them to rebound. I just think they straight up win this game. I think they're better. Colorado State sucks.
Yeah, I didn't have a ton of really strong feelings about any of these games, but I'm going to go pick on somebody that I've picked on a lot this year, and I will continue
Is
to.
it Miami?
And no, it is not Miami. Miami showed signs of maybe taking steps forward.
Okay.
But we'll see. One team that I don't believe is taking any steps forward, they may even be taking steps backwards, is the Clemson Tigers.
Oh, that's who it is.
Louisville, I believe they're traveling to Louisville. I may be wrong about that, but I'm pretty sure that, they're traveling to Louisville. They're going to be hosting Clemson. I believe they're at 4. It doesn't even really matter. I still just don't think that this Clemson team has anything to play for at this point. And the team knows it. We're talking about college kids. I think Dabo is, I wouldn't say he's lost the team, but I think kind of as we've, harped on many times on this show, I think that his system and his way of doing things is kind of becoming old hat at this point. I think the players are getting a little bit tired of it. I think that Louisville is going to end up pulling this one out in a late field goal. So that's me.
My dog, I'm going with another road team, which is dangerous, but number 9 Wake Forest on the road at 4-4 North Carolina.
That's a good one.
Thought about it.
Maybe the right play here is over. There may be a lot of points here, but I've said this in a previous picks podcast before, is I'm just going with a team that knows how to win. When I see 4-4, it's a team stuck in the middle, even with them playing at home. I'll take the 2.5 or 3, whatever it's middling around. I'll just take Wake Forest straight up to win.
That's a good one.
I want them to win. I want them to keep winning.
Yep.
Chaos.
Give it to me. Parody. I love it.
Best bets. We can pick anything. We're using the lines here, trying to make some money. Parker, what are you making money with this week in college?
I really just picking this because I love these games. But the Service Academy games are really fun. Air Force, I'm taking -3 over Army. They're the same team. Air Force has just got better players. I mean, it's pretty much what it is. And it's just a game that I'll be watching every minute of, so I wanted to get in on it. It's kind of like the Army Navy games, you
Yeah.
know. Just wanted to be part of it, but they're fun to watch. I mean, Army hung 56 up last week, but I do think Air Force is going to be able to squeak this one out, maybe by a touchdown.
Yeah, my best bet this week. I got to look at them. There's a lot of games this week to look at. I focused in on Iowa this week. They're favored by 12 against Northwestern.
So you're taking Iowa.
No, I am not.
Will they score 12 points?
I find it hard to believe that Iowa is going to be able to outscore anybody by 12. I mean, it's not a condemnation on that I don't think they're going to win. They very well might win, but I'm having a hard time believing that the over-under being 40.5 and the line being 12. I mean, is Iowa just going to kick like 5 50-yard field goals or something?
They'll have 5 punts inside the 5, though.
I don't know. I don't see it. I don't see Iowa getting, winning by 12. So that's me. I'm going Northwestern to cover there.
With that point spread and with that total, that's absolutely the play. And if Northwestern comes out and gets a touchdown, it's over.
That's what I'm saying. There's no way. I mean, Iowa's offense is so anemic. It's just like,
watch them drop 40 this week.
I don't see it happen unless there's like 5 pick sixes.
And for mine, I'm going to go align myself with a team I picked against last week. I'm going to align myself with number 12, Baylor. They get to play TCU, who's about to play their first game without Coach Gary Patterson. To do so, I have to lay 6.5 points. I believe number 12 Baylor can win by a touchdown. That's just I guess it's just a fact of me watching Baylor, Texas last week and hoping that Texas was my underdog pick last week. Maybe I'm a more believer now, but these games seem to be weird. So I don't know that I have much confidence in it, but I've been sucked in by the 6.5.
All right.
Baylor -6.5.
There you go. Well, that's it.
College picks. They're in.
They are in.
We'll be tweeting about them shortly.
Oh, yeah. You'll be hearing all about them, I'm sure. Guys, thanks for joining us today on our College Pick Show. Be sure to check us out on Twitter at DDS Sports Talk. Let us know what you think about our picks. Are we stupid? Did I bite off more than I could chew there with my underdog pick with Clemson and Louisville? But, guys, closing thoughts.
Cowboys need to roll in Laramie.
And Dan Mullen will still be holding on to his rope in South Carolina.
Fuck that shit. All right, guys. Go Big Orange. You guys be well.